NEET medical examination, the entrance examination and the joint entrance examination JEE for admissions into the IITs will be held as per schedule is what the Supreme Court has ruled. They said, and I quote, the career of students cannot be put under jeopardy. The top court said that it has now dismissed a petition by 11 students to defer the exam due to corona crisis. The two exams are scheduled to be held in September. These 11 students from 11 different states had filed a petition and wanted the authorities to conduct the exams only after normalcy is restored. Students also sought to increase the number of examination centres. Now remember, the JEE Main and NEET have been postponed once already. We have now Vaidyanathan and Rishika both joining us on the story. Vaidya, what were the arguments that led to this decision by Supreme Court?
See, the hearing went on around 5 or 6 minutes. So the basic arguments by the lawyer of the students, Mr. Alok Srivastav, he said that pandemic is there. Why don't you defer the examination, because it will be difficult for the students to appear in the examination, not only because of pandemic, some floods in some areas. But the NGT, National Testing Agency, the NTA, represented by Solicitor General, told the court saying that all arrangements have been made, every precaution will be taken. So finally, Justice Mishra, who was heading 3-judge bench, said that already, COVID will be there for next 1 year. Should we wait for next 1 year? We can't put the students' life in peril. So life will have to go on, education will have to be opened up, and finally dismiss the petition. So basically, now the exams, joint entrance examination for the main, for admission to the engineering, as well as the NEET for undergraduate medical admission, will be held as scheduled in September. September 13th is the examination for NEET, and for the JEE Main is from 1 to 6. So this examination will be held as scheduled. There is no change.
No change over there. But Rishika, despite, in fact, apart from these 11 students, there seems to be a divide between students into when these examinations should be held. What is their response to this judgment?
Well, this is the decision, let's not forget, that impacts lakhs of students appearing for perhaps the toughest examinations in the country. These are medical and engineering entrance exams that we're talking about. These are students who've been preparing for years. Often 2 to 3 years is, the average preparation time for appearing for these examinations. And yes, of course, students are divided, but there are a lot of students who have some very practical, logistical concerns with conductive examinations. There are people who are in containment zones, people who have contracted the virus, have contacts who've contracted the virus. So there are health concerns that are associated with it, and of course concerns that are associated with travel. Remember, students are no longer in cities, they are no longer in universities. Everything's been shut for the past couple of months. So there are students who've gone back home. Several of these aspirants are living in remote areas. So those are some of the concerns as far as students are concerned. But it's an interesting take by the Supreme Court to allow for these examinations to take place. As Vaidyanathan was pointing out, these exams have been postponed earlier. They were scheduled to be held somewhere towards the end of July, now going to be held in the first half of September. It's important to note here that the government had constituted a panel that had recommended for these exams to be postponed in July. The Education Minister himself had taken stock of the situation, but now it appears that both the Education Ministry as well as the Home Ministry had recommended to the National Testing Agency that they can go ahead and conduct these examinations. So it's a sign of times to come. You will also now see gradually that schools will be allowed to open up. Remember, after the 31st of August, we are likely to see that schools could be reopened with, of course, the said precautions that will be taken.